let's just talk about what another industrial company, similar to the presentation being made, about what we're doing to contribute to this. And I suspect that Spirax Engineering, most of you don't know of us, right? I would guess. So I'll just do a little bit to explain. And the sort of subject of my presentation is our antidote to climate change. What are we doing to try and help with this huge challenge we have ahead of us? So I've been invited to explain to you not just what our business is doing about that internally to reduce our own emissions, but more importantly, what we're doing as a business and how our business model really helps our customers rise to the challenge of climate change. And hopefully this session, a bit like Bing's, will bring the theory more into reality of some of the things we're challenged with. And just before I do go on, by the way, I think there's sort of maybe a disadvantage of going last in any session like this. First of all, they've probably eaten up all the time, so I've got to rush. Well, that's a tick in the box, but I'll try and get us through. And maybe you're already overloaded by facts, but perhaps the advantage versus the disadvantage is mine's the last messenger, other than when we sum up. So perhaps it's my responsibility to make sure you remember something I say, but tell me over lunch whether I achieve that or not. So let's move on. Just very quickly, a bit about me. My name's Neil Daws. Thank you for the introduction, Hugo. Very kind of you. I am a chartered engineer. I've worked for this fantastic business since 1978. 41 years. It's the only company I've worked for. That's probably relatively unique these days, but hopefully when I show you a bit about our business, you might see why. I've got broad experience, manufacturing design, process application, business management, and most recently leadership. So I am now the managing director of our steam specialties business, which most of this presentation will focus on. So I'm going to go a bit over the company, an overview of us, where my major part of the business sits, because it is a business of three parts, how we interact with our customers to make a difference. But then really I want to focus, I'll get through that fairly quickly, because I want to show you the case studies that show where this really works for both us, our partners as customers, and for the economy, and obviously the climate change risk. I'm also going to touch on secretly, so none of this goes out this room, but some of the things we're working on in R&D, which I think you might be interested in. So let's move on into the overview. So Spirax Engineering PLC, don't expect you to know us, not many people do, we need to do a better job of that. But we've got really two large thermal energy management businesses, steam specialties, in which I work, that's nearly two-thirds of the business. Two brands, Spirax and Gestra, both related to steam energy and thermal management. And then a secondary leg to the business, which is electrical process heating. So still under thermal energy management, one's steam, one's electric. And again, we have two brands there, Chromalox and Thermocoax. And then an independent business, Watson Marlow, pumps and fluid paths, a very unique business that's got a unique technology and is a world leader. All these brands are pretty much world leaders in their particular sectors, and all three of them actually provide customer, environmental and business sustainability benefits. But as I say, I'm going to focus on this business here. I am MD of this business, which I say is the original core of this company. We as a company take our sustainability responsibilities very seriously. It does cost a lot of money to do this sustainability, but actually, does it actually also save money and make a better business? Well, we've been doing this for some time, and I can absolutely guarantee you it's an investment, not a cost, and the benefits flow through to the business, and you'll see that. So we have a group sustainability strategy. I sit on the board, so I'm a board member that drives this. And you can see our approach here, where we have all three businesses have to abide by this direction and strategy. And we have sort of 5 target project areas here, where we're concentrating on our actions to improve our business. And that drops down into about 10 different product areas, which we drive hard internally to improve what we do. And there's 2 areas, energy and carbon in particular, where we took 2013 as a jump-off point, where we've actually critically measured our performance since that date. And that would be one of my advices to any company. If you're not measuring this, you'll never be able to demonstrate yourself the returns. If you do measure it, you absolutely will. And I'm proud to say that in the 5 years since 2013 up to the end of 2018 last year, we'd actually generated 24% reductions in carbon emissions intensity since that period. Now, the intensity means our business has grown, so we still do grow our business, but in terms of overall intensity of that business, it's a quarter better than it was. And that's eliminated about 10,000 tonnes of CO2 equivalent, scope 1 and 2, that escape to the atmosphere. So we're pretty proud about that number. But also, we put a lot of effort into our products and services because we are an energy company, we're energy engineers, and you'll see our business model offers a lot to our customer base. And we do that through products and services, and I want to demonstrate to you some of the things we do that actually help the market way beyond these savings levels we make internally. So just let me focus down on the steam business. Again, it's not a well understood fact really, but steam is really pretty poorly understood. It's not well presented and in the education facilities these days. It's a low-key subject, but it's a very important one for heat transfer. And it is the most efficient way of transferring heat from a heat source to a process. It has very high energy content. It does not need pumping because it's generated at pressure, so it flows from high pressure to low pressure. No need for pumping. It's very easy to control. You can control temperature extremely accurately. It is environmentally safe, it's clean and it's sterile. So really good reasons for using steam as a heat source, and a huge amount of industry does. As you can see here, it's used in a huge number of industries. Sorry, we use these sort of pictures of the industries, but you can see there food and beverage, pharmaceutical, oil and gas, healthcare, hospitals, textiles, papers, and many, many more. So we have customers using steam all around the world in almost every industry. And it is the fact that there are many applications for using steam within those industries: heating, cooking, cleaning, sterilising, humidification, and many applications in process, for example, vacuum packing. So we have a large potential market for what we do. And it is helped by the fact that this business started nearly 130 years ago, even older than me. It's gained its number one position by providing the customer with technical solutions to look at how they can increase their efficiency and achieve regulatory compliance. And of course, that's changing and getting more demanding as time goes on. So the Spirax-Sarco brand and the Gestra brand both do this and provide this solution to our customers. And I would say we are really proud to be the world leader in steam applications, how our customers use steam in their processes. And we're number one because of that long history, our overall size, our global presence, the product services we offer. But I think most particularly, a bit like I think you were showing in your presentation, Bing, our really deep understanding of the applications our customers are using heat transfer in. If you can really understand that, then you can start to help support them. So we sell directly to our customers. I've got a very large sales force all around the world, and we're talking to them about their needs and priorities constantly. And guess what? Their priorities have changed over time, and they've changed quickly in the last 5 years. And there's 4 things they talk about. Number 1, operating safe plant and facilities. So safety's become number 1. 2 is reducing their energy usage and their emissions. That's moved up to number 2, and that used to be probably 5 in their list of priorities 10 years ago. Then they come into things like increasing productivity, increasing the quality of their products. So they're driven hard by health, safety, sustainable things, and energy emissions reduction, which is a real help to us. So we're able to support them with all those 4 priorities I mentioned, and we're looking for innovative solutions and providing short returns, because a good discussion about what is the real viable return for some of this work. Well, let me show you some in just a few minutes. So this is sort of how we go to market. Our business model only works through direct contact, where our salespeople are regularly visiting plants. And we get businesses from all sorts of sort of investments in our customers. For example, when they're building new systems, so there's growth in the market, they're building a new factory, where they're helping them specify, design and implement that system. But also we do a lot in the way of steam system audits. They ask us to regularly engage with them and audit, health check their plants, and we regularly find lots of opportunities for improvement there. But more importantly, we're also looking, sorry, excuse me, wrong button. We're looking at how we can develop within our products solutions to our customers that do things that were never possible before. And that direct contact with our customer helps us achieve that. Of course, there's the normal maintenance and repair that I think every business has, serving the existing marketplace, keeping it in good condition. But because of this very deep knowledge-based selling approach, we also do a huge amount of training, and we provide that training to our customers to help them develop their systems. Don't provide it free. It's taken us 130 years to get it, but you'll be amazed how willing they are to pay for that. And we support them constantly in developing their own capability. So just very quickly, when I said about size and scale, you can see here, I've got 62 selling companies around the world, something like 4,700 employees and over 1,200 direct sales and service people in front of the customer every day. They're all there today as we speak, visiting the plants, walking the plants, doing surveys. And we support that in 47 training centres around the world, very professional training centres with both facilities like this, but practical training areas showing steam in use. And we're headquartered in the UK. And as I say, about 130-year history of this business. So this global presence is also very helpful because many of our customers, big customers, Unilever, Nestle, for example, Food and Pharma, those sorts of areas, they are very global customers as well. And they want to know they can get the same quality and standard of solution all around the world. But it's a big advantage to us if we find with a key account like Nestle, they have 440 plants around the world, over 400 use steam. And if we find a solution good for one plant, there's usually replica opportunities in many of their other plants. You think they would socialise that around their own company, but companies are not good at doing that, huh? So we just help them with that. If we find a good solution somewhere, we actually replicate that around and socialise it for them. And they're very happy for us to do that. So the customers themselves, I mean, steam, as I say, is an important medium. Actually, if you look at total industrial energy usage, steam accounts for 30% of the energy use in industry. And it is a significant cost to those businesses. And as I say, the increasing regulatory compliance is a challenge to all these businesses. And everybody's talking these days about how they reduce their emissions. It's common. It's something we're talking constantly to our shareholders in the city about. And very few businesses today haven't got some form of sustainability targets. Actually, it's a requirement of governance of many businesses around the world. So the environment is a good place, I think, and I would agree with some of the other presenters that these are positive levers and pulls. And, you know, this is why we have a great opportunity to support businesses along the journey of addressing the climate change, increasing awareness, and identifying the opportunities. So, you know, they know we're here to help. We're here to help with thermal energy management, and we have a very loyal customer base that we've developed over that long period of time. So what does that look like in the way we actually build our business? Well, about 50% of our business just comes from serving the industry that exists today. Enormous industry, I've mentioned how much of it is using steam. We're helping those customers look after those systems, run them efficiently, and just improve on the existing infrastructure that's there. Then there's about 15% of our business, which is that new build, expansions, new factories, wherever there's investment, they're decisions made by the customer. We just support that and help them design the systems. What is unique to us is this bit here, 35%. This is not market that's out there. This is creation of market. And this is what we get through what we call self-generative sales. So our very highly qualified sales and service engineers are regularly in front of those customers, walking their plant, doing surveys, helping them audit their efficiencies, and we're spotting opportunities that those customers don't know exist. They don't know that there is all this amount of investment they could do in their business that provides very good returns. And we rarely sell anything that's worse than a 2-year return. Many returns are less than 1 year, and they're just no-brainer investments for our customers. So we actually generate market by being in front of the customer, spotting opportunities, things they would not have done without us, but they're very happy to do that. And, you know, 35% of our business comes from that. It generally is our application knowledge of building big solutions for these customers. There's no competitor to that solution. So our win rate on that 35% is in the 50, 60, 70%. Most of that business turns, those opportunities for our customers turn into business to us. And we've got a reputation for delivering on that, hence the long relationships we build. So I just wanted to say, before I show you the real examples, I just thought it was interesting to help you see what that actually achieves. Well, 5.7 million tonnes of CO2 emissions saved annually from what we do with our customers. We actually measure all these projects that are installed in the plant. That's been independently verified, by the way, so it's not a greenwash. It's been independently verified, and actually it's a 2-year-old figure. It's probably nearer 6 million now, and we've got to do a better job of keep adding that up. But I thought for most of us, in an audience, what does that really mean? It's difficult to get your head around these numbers, and I see, interestingly, Bing, you did a similar thing. So what we said was, we've looked at 2.8 million cars generate that amount of CO2. So that's the equivalent, our activity each year with our customers, and this is happening every year, is the equivalent of taking 2.8 million cars off the road. I think global production of vehicles is about 100 million a year. So it's 2.8%. So, in the big picture, but we're just one small business contributing. It's really valuable. The other way of looking at it is, what about the trees then? Well, it would take you 260 million mature trees to be planted to absorb that out of the atmosphere. Or if you look at air miles, interesting, isn't it? From a different perspective, we came similar air. That takes 330 million less aircraft miles, what we do every year. And by the way, we're trying to build and strengthen this all the time, where our R&D is focused. So that makes it good. I'd like to check with you, Bing, because there's how our numbers compare. It would be interesting to look at them from both sides. But that makes our employees feel really good. And you talked about how you not only talk to your investors and the markets, but also what you say to your employees internally. But this is what makes our team extremely proud. So let me skip through a few real examples, because you may be skeptical about those numbers. Well, here's a few. Nestle. Here's a cereal plant in Chile, this one is, and in South America. So you'll just see the sort of global effect of our business. They were discharging a lot of high-pressure condensate from their steamroller dryers, where they're drying material. And when we looked at that, we said, look, hang on a minute, this low-pressure condensate can be compressed back into steam, into low-pressure steam, and reused in your plant. So we advised them that. What was the results? 2% reduction in their total plant energy costs from that one solution. 2% reduction. 391 tonnes per annum of reduced CO2 emissions, and 2,500 tonnes less water used. Another, what's becoming rare commodity. So that was equivalent for them, that one investment, for nearly 18,000 equivalent trees planted. Feels pretty good. What about this one? This is in Kenya. This is a tea plant. This gentleman here, James Maburu, he's my sales manager in Kenya, East Africa. And tea companies, real big steam users, a lot of heat. They fire their steam boilers with wood. And they had very poor temperature control, very poor flow control, wasting a lot of energy. We re-engineered their complete steam system for you. James was involved in that process. Reduced their energy and wood consumption by 12%, just as a result of working with them over 3 months to re-engineer that system. Real good impact for that company. And a very important cost in their operating business. Here's one, UK hospital. Hospitals traditionally used a lot of hot water. They always use a lot of hot water for washing and clean downs, etc. Used to put that in calorifiers. Calorifiers is a large vessel with water in that's stored. And that's a big waste of energy, storing water you're not using and keeping it hot. So we replaced their storage calorifiers. There are 25 of them. We replaced them with 18 Easy Heats, another product that came out of our R&D team, which is an instantaneous hot water boiler. It just delivers the water hot the minute it's needed. It's not stored anymore. And £240,000 energy bill reduction for that hospital, £334,000 worth of annual maintenance savings they had, and their carbon emissions reduced by 1,400 tonnes, another 64,000 tree equivalent. By the way, storage water in hospitals is a Legionella issue as well, big health and safety issue, eliminated by this solution. So it's interesting the various different businesses. So this is this and one other Argentina animal feed producer here. Again, 115,000 tree plant equivalent through the work we've did. You sort of get the message of the things we're doing regularly in the marketplace. And, we can replicate many of these solutions. And the final one here is, somebody said Spain, Spanish brewery, all like beer, don't we? We're helping the beer companies as well. They're getting more efficient. Poor temperature control in this one, high evaporation losses. So they were losing product as well as using more water. So we halved their evaporation rates, improved their product quality and consistency. The beer was better every time. And they had something like a 90% reduction in downtime and a 20% reduction in energy usage. So these are real things, and it's these projects we add up that show what our carbon equivalent benefits